The Episcopal Museum of Vic was inaugurated in 1891. Its creation was of great importance for the evaluation, study, promotion and protection of medieval art. A good part of the works that make up the contents of the museum comes from churches in the Vic diocese. These works came into the museum when they lost importance in the churches themselves.
El museu té dues vertents que em sembla que és bo d'explicar. Una, per un cantó, és un contenidor, però al mateix temps és un santuari. El que hi ha dins d'aquest santuari contenidor ho hem de conservar, de cuidar i de mimar.
Currently, new digital technology for reproducing works of art is a valuable resource placed at the service of heritage conservation institutions. Initially, this technology was designed for industrial use. Nowadays, specialists, technicians, restorers and promotion managers can use this new digital technology to conserve, restore, study and promote our cultural heritage. The Episcopal Museum of Vic has been using 3D technology due to the demand for physical copies of the works conserved by the museum. Often this technology is used because traditional molding techniques cannot be used due to the poor state or the characteristics of some works.
Això facilita aquesta discussió problemàtica si una peça ha de ser en el lloc original o ha de ser en el mateix museu. Poder de fer una còpia exacta permet que el museu continuï conservant amb tota la qualitat que s'ha de conservar una peça, però al mateix temps pugui exposar-se una còpia en el lloc d'origen.
To carry out digitalization and replication projects, the Spanish company nub3d has been contracted. A company that designs and develops tri-dimensional optical white light scanners, nub3d offers these digitalization services using its own system called Triple Art.
nub3d ha creado una línea de productos especializada en la digitalización de patrimonio y de obras artísticas, en las que se han priorizado una serie de características necesarias en este sector.
This system has two main advantages, the first being that light emission is perfectly adapted to the strict conservation requirements of museums, in so much as lighting control, the removal of ultraviolet and infrared waves, and a minimum exposure time.
Una característica vital en el digitalizado sobre obras de patrimonio es mantener un control exhaustivo de la potencia de emisión y del espectro de iluminación que incide sobre la obra. Nuestras máquinas cumplen estos requisitos y están avalados por estudios realizados por el Instituto de Ciencias Fotónicas de Cataluña.
The second advantage is that the system incorporates MML technology that allows for measurements to be taken without making physical contact with the work.
Nuestra empresa diseña, tanto a nivel de software como de hardware, la tecnología de sus propios equipos.
The creation of a replica starts with a 3D scan of the object. By combining optical technology, 3D topometric techniques, and digital processing of the image, millions of coordinate points are taken from the surface of the object. A reader captures the light distortion and interprets this as curves. The shape is digitally recorded onto the computer using a web of infinite triangles.
La digitalització de la peça permet tenir una documentació exacta d'aquesta peça en un moment concret. Per tant, és un treball excel·lent per poder conservar i estudiar la peça que hi ha en el museu.
The result of digitalization is documentation which historians can use to make hypotheses about possible sources, to carry out reconstruction, and reunite separated parts of a single piece. Additionally, restorers can plan the way to support or reconstruct parts of the work, among other possibilities. When the replica is made, the dimensions of the image are adapted in the digital file according to the proportions agreed with the museum and the organization which will receive the copy. By doing this, images are not created on the same scale that avoids confusion at a later date. The Episcopal Museum of Vic has used this technique for various reproductions. One example has been that of a sculpture of a Gothic Virgin, which was on display outdoors. Atmospheric pollution accelerates the deterioration of works shown outdoors, and for this reason, this publicly owned piece was taken to the museum to be preserved, with a copy being put in its original place outside. In the case of the Passion altarpiece, work of the sculptor Bernat Saulet, and that of the Bouchador's Virgin, two masterpieces from the 14th century made in alabaster, the digital documentation was used to apply mechanized machines. The blocks of alabaster, and the block of marble were sculpted by a sequence of infinite decreasing movements of a controlled milling machine. The result was very similar to the original, except in the most precise details and the parts that the machine could not reach, such as the space behind the head or the back parts of its extremities. The moulded work was then moved to a sculptor's workshop. Here the sculptor made the necessary adjustments using traditional techniques to complete the replica. Once finished, a replica is identical to the original and allows the places where works of art come from to see them again in their original context, where they were designed to be.